Bravo Fox Pop, leveling 16,000. 337 for Bravo Fox Pop. Okay, 3,000, left, number 10.
Hey, you got Vince and Tyler back in the tool shop.
What's up, boys?
We're talking MP5s today. So this particular MP5 is actually Tyler's. And Tyler, do me a favor, give us a butt tip, but also explain your thought process on owning an MP5.
So I know nothing about this gun. No, from ass to dick. This gun is by far one of my favorites. I think that kind of goes without saying that anyone that knows me knows I'm a huge roller delay fan. Roller lock or roller, just traditional roller delay.
Show the Nazis it's unloaded.
Oh, sorry. I forgot we're on YouTube. Where all guns are loaded and I can shoot you through the screen. So, this is my personal MP5. I have probably at this point, besides my 1022, probably put more rounds to this than any other own. I think that's fair in saying.
Yeah. And I really feel like the 22 is because it's so cheap.
Oh, dude.
Like
with the little binary in
you
it.
and I.
That's going to be a fun video, by the way. Kind of going on there. Look, man, we can argue how practical PCCs are or how that 9mm carbines are dumb. This gun is special.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Regardless of the caliber. This thing is special. Kind of going from the back to the front, from the ass to the dick. On the back end, we have a B&T stock. Now, I hate myself, and I'm a self-masochist, which is why I spent $350
B&T
on a fucking stock.
As opposed to A2 that is.
When I bought the A2, when I first bought this, it was $70. They're about $150.
But it was in folds.
Yeah, exactly. That's the justification I needed.
Yeah.
The can is in jail, but the can would be the final completion. Yeah, it's another $800.
Yep.
Plus the tri-lug mount. We're going $1,000 before the tax stamp. But yeah, from the back to the front, we have a $350 stock. We have a $1,000 can waiting in jail. On top, we have a nice little Romeo 4S. Now, the Romeo 4S is an interesting optic. It's a good product.
It really is. I mean, I know that this is a military grade optic. I
hate using that term, but
it really
that's what it is.
I use it because it's used by military units. I believe the SAS actually
do
this.
There's a few photos, and then MCXs or back then Vertices.
And I have this. I have a 4S on my wife's 14.5, and she's used it to pop coyotes at 150 yards.
It's a great optic.
Yeah, I mean, you have the circle dot or just the dot you can choose.
It's a Hollison 515 in SIG clothing. I built this gun, and at first I was like, man, this thing's great with irons. And then it kind of hit me as it needs an optic, and I had one of these laying around from an older build, and I haven't wanted to change it. It's reliable. It's got that 5-year battery life. It's got solar. It's got it's got actual buttons and not little switches.
Well, what I love is the mount that has nothing to do with
aim-point. It's an aim-point mount.
It's a scalar though.
So that's a cool thing. It uses aim-point mounts, and if you are smart with an MP5 and you choose the correct mount, you can use your irons in conjunction with your optics. So I shouldn't say in conjunction, as a secondary option. So my irons run underneath the mount. I can use them if my optic battery goes dead or if my Romeo 4 quits. I have the ability to run my irons.
Just like an ADM mount it's a monolithic solid. Yeah.
Which is great.
So it's going to block your irons.
On this setup specifically, American Defense makes a great mount. You have to measure where it goes. You have scalar. American Defense does make a great mount.
They make a great
mount. You have to measure where you put it. I use white paint because if you take it off for cleaning, which I clean mine very barbaric ways, you have to put it on the same exact spot. Make sure you get it close to the same torque. You're not going to have it at 0. But kind of going away from just the optic, the gun itself. I mean, look, man, roller delay guns, there's no recoil.
They suck.
You don't care for PCCs.
Yeah, I don't.
You want one of these.
I do.
There's no recoil. It is the coolest gun ever made. Or argue me that.
No,
Let's fight. Let's fight.
This argument.
We did, and I win. In my mind, I win. There's no recoil. The gun literally flatlines when you try to shoot it fast. If you get a trigger job done by getting an aftermarket trigger, which is a handful of options, or sing it out to Mr. Springfield, having him modify it for you. No, not Mr. Ford Slide.
Right.
Springfield. But you can get these things pretty clean.
Yeah.
The gun is great. It does kind of lend itself to modern adaptation. So off the bat, you do have the ability to go with different handguards. So you can go with B&T, which they make a tri-rail. You can go with Knight's Armament. They make a tri-rail, and their optic mount bolts to the handguard. It's great. You can go with Magpul. Now, you know when Magpul makes something for your gun?
Everybody.
It's probably a pretty big firearm.
Like I feel like if Magpul makes something for your
your
weapon,
You've done it.
It is now
in
like,
2023. You've hit the apex.
Like you have to think about popular guns that Magpul has not hit a market for, like FN's P90/PS90.
What is there to do?
Nothing from Magpul. You have P7s. You have there's just so many.
Yeah.
That.
So what I did in my infinite wisdom is I did not go with the aftermarket because I'm an idiot. And instead, I decided to modify a wide body handguard to accept modern accessories.
How did you do that?
A drill press. So, a smart move would be go, hey man, there's a great aftermarket for this stuff. Let's just go ahead and adapt our gun. The idiot monkey in my brain said, no dude, you just do it yourself. Here's how it all started. I have always wanted an MP5. Any kid that grew up watching Die Hard?
No, that's
Vince, what time period did you grow up?
So I was born in '85. So Die Hard was huge when I was like 5 years old.
So I grew up in the late '90s, early 2000s, and Vince is a little bit older than I am. And for me, a lot of it was honestly early Battlefield.
This is like Die Hard was my era.
Yeah,
and I can remember Christmas because Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie.
I can remember watching Die Hard with my dad and brother on Christmas, and then getting an MP5
BB gun.
No, it was a water gun. My brother got an Uzi, and I got the MP5, and my brother was jealous to no end.
Yeah.
But he also got a 92, bred a 92. And I got what looked like a SIG 226. It wasn't.
Yeah.
I want to clarify that because I was like, this is a no-name gun. But I had the MP5 and it was cool. We'd have water gun fights and I was the cool kid because I had an MP5.
I mean, when I grew up, I grew up watching Die Hard as a kid, but a lot of it honestly was early Call of Duty and Battlefield.
Yeah.
I grew up in the late 90s, early 2000s, and, playing Battlefield Bad Company.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when I got older, Battlefield 3, this gun was just the tits. And that's the thing, too. The newer generation views that as the MP7. Watching movies like Die Hard, Airheads.
Yes.
Like we discussed earlier.
MP5K, Airheads.
Vince hit a chord in me when he mentioned Airheads in one of our earlier videos. That movie was a lot. I'm a huge metal fan, and that movie, with the music, with the guns, with the BB guns and the real guns, hit a chord in me. But anyway, growing up, I always thought the MP5 was the coolest gun of all time. I thought it was the epitome of 9mm submachine guns. And I thought that was the gun I was destined to own. So much so that when I was in high school, man, I became a gun nut, like heavily, and this was the gun I wanted to learn the most about. This is a horrible example of never meet your heroes, because I met my hero, and I love him.
Yeah, I would say that, to that point, the never meet your heroes, and then Tyler just became more infatuated.
Yep.
And I've shot his.
You didn't even care until you shot mine.
No, his, and then we have a friend that actually, like, his is a full-fledged MP5 and like an HK, and like I shot both, and I was just like, man, I have to have one.
Yeah.
And I hate the concept of a PCC.
Like, goddamn, is this
But
thing?
I need one.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, I was 1-1. Again, actually working in the fireman industry about 5.5, almost 6 years ago, and the MP5 was kind of that rail gun. And when I first got in, it was kind of that unachievable rail. You had some of the Zenith imports,
Yep.
made by MKE.
Which were
They're
good.
good until you couldn't find them.
Right. And now they're $3,000.
Yeah.
So might as well get
An HK.
an HK.
And then in 2018, PTR, Precision Target Rifle Industries, promised an MP5 clone and SHOT Show. And they had a bit of a mixed reputation, but a lot of guys said, well, for the last 5-6 years, they've been doing a great job making
Yeah,
product.
I like PTR.
They announced their MP5 clone. And in 2019, early 2019, I bought that MP5 clone. And you're looking at it. It's kind of going on it. Best gun ever made. End of video. No, so kind of going on it. One thing I did was I loved the look and the feel of the wide body handgun.
Yep.
Kind of going back on the video games and movies I watched as a kid, this just looks cool.
Yes.
That profile, that right there.
The triangle.
Makes me hard.
Yep.
I wanted modern accessories, and part of me was like, man, what is preventing me from putting M-lock slots on polymer? Literally nothing, especially when there's this much clearance, between the material. So I locked the handguard into a drill press, and I made M-lock slots, and it worked. We have a Cloud Defense inline mount hooked up to a PLH V2 18350 mod light. We're running an ST07 switch with a Magpul mount, and then we're running a Mod 3 grip on the bottom. Perfectly centered. Took me a minute. Vince, you run a lot of modern stuff.
Yep.
How close is this to that?
I mean, you're pretty much dead on.
Yeah.
Like, I would say everything is. First of all, I need to throw out the caveat that every gun is different as far as model. So this is, if I pick this up though, I would go, well, holy shit, it's PCC, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it feels natural from that vertical grip to where your thumb naturally indexes on the bolt and then comes down
On the charging handle.
Yeah.
It wraps, so
Yeah, charging handle is pressure switch.
the beauty is your hand wraps around the handle. So, in the event the gun goes dry, your hand is right there.
Yep.
It is literally right there to lock it back.
Show them to the
Slide
pressure
forward.
switch.
And then, your pressure switch is right here in case you need it. So the gun is completely adapted. The only thing that is not modern yet is the ergonomics and that the reload mechanics.
I would say though the ergonomics are not
Horrible.
Yeah, they're better than most modern PCCs.
With the safety, ESK safety,
Yeah.
it's just the fact that you don't have that last round bolt hold open. Big whoop.
Yep.
I mean, my thing is, you can run this thing as fast as almost any other gun. If you understand the reloads, I mean, it literally is a quick reload until the gun is ready to go.
I would argue in some ways it's faster because you're not fighting recoil on that last shot.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no timing like recoil, so yeah, obviously you have to go. It's dry now, but
if you're fighting to the last round.
yes, if you're doing a tactical reload where maybe there's 3 or 4 left in there, you drop it, go ahead and throw in a new mag. It's just as fast.
Yeah, I mean,
AK style reloads are fast.
the thing with the MP5 is, unlike most PCCs, this isn't straight blowback. You don't have a Honda Accord moving back every time you pull the trigger.
Yep.
It's not this giant chunk of mass, chuck, 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 chuck. It's a relatively lightweight carrier and bolt assembly. They're 2 different pieces, unlike most PCCs, moving really slow. You can optimize it to run suppressed by changing the locking piece, which you can't do anything else. I mean, it's not only the epitome of cool, it is when you actually own and run one, like it's the best SMG.
And when you compare it to things, modern things, such as a B&T, Scorpion. Well, Scorpion's going to jump around your hands. You're holding a live chainsaw. I mean, that thing is slapping back and forth. B&Ts, look, I'm not gonna shit on B&Ts.
They make a good product.
That being said, I'm gonna shit on B&Ts.
They make an expensive product. It's not as good as the price.
Really and truly, this separates a lot of them.
So that is the gold standard for SMG mags. It's not like my opinion, it is kind of universally agreed upon when it comes to SMG mags or PCC mags. I mean, MP5 mags are the gold standard. I mean, we have a full stamped steel welded magazine with a completely chrome-plated follower that is anti-tilt by design with a heavy tension spring. This mag has probably by itself seen 1,400 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've seen it. It literally acts like new.
Which, and I will say, like, if you do that with Glock mags, coming close to 2,000 rounds in a Glock mag, like for B&T purposes, you're gonna have spring follower issues.
You told me Glock mags aren't designed for PCCs?
Look, I'm telling you, Glock mags is where a Glock is gonna fail.
Which they're great mags.
Yeah, great mags.
They're not SMG mags.
That's where the Glock pistol will fail. When you're running it into a PCC, multiply that by 4 because you're gonna shoot way more in this than you will in just a pistol.
Yeah.
I mean, like the people who can afford to shoot this are gonna shoot it.
It's just you have
that's the case.
a double stack, double feed, naturally accommodating curved magazine.
Yes.
For the platform it's running on. It's just one of those things. You cannot get that by running pistol mags out of your PCC. It's never going to not be able to keep up with the action of the gun. No matter what type. If you're running 115 grain ball or 147 hollow point, the magazine will keep up with feeding and never stop.
See, and that is one thing that I want to readdress. PCCs, the best PCCs have proprietary mags.
Yep.
Glock mags are fantastic.
They're great in locks.
They are fantastic in locks. But you're taking a pistol magazine and throwing it into something that the cyclical rate is greater. The amount that you're going to use it is greater.
Yep.
It's not designed for that. And anytime you take something that it is not designed for and put it into something else, fuck-ups happen.
Yeah. I mean, this gun, except for the caliber, is comparable to most SBRs. We go to your land, and we shoot steel at 200 yards.
Yeah.
What 9mm carbine is keeping up? Oh, it's the one with the PLH.
Yes.
It's the one with the amazing optic, the great sights.
Mm-hmm.
When we try to run this thing extremely fast, up close to the steel target at 25 yards, which gun is landing every single shot on the steel? Not even thinking about it. It's this thing.
And it suppresses so well.
Yeah. Now, a lot of the MP5, one thing I hate is HK fanboys. They're toxic. We're Glock fanboys.
HK fanboys are the opposite of Glock fanboys. And hear me out on this. HK fanboys will go PTR. Boo.
Fuck that.
It's the opposite in the fact that you have Shadow Systems fanboys. They're like, oh, you run a Glock. Boo.
Yeah.
And it's like, look, you're saying with Shadow, you're going, Glock is garbage, you should get better here. Look, HK, you're getting the exact same thing, but in a PTR, you're getting it less expensive.
Yeah.
Welds are better.
They're equal depending on the model.
Okay.
They are better over mass. You and me have seen that with the SB5s.
Yeah.
These tend to come in with better welds, generally speaking, but I'm not going to say that these are better. A lot of the hardcore HK guys are going to bitch about PTR. A lot of the MP5 guys, I've seen some issues. My general experience with PTR, the early models of old PTR 91s definitely have some QC issues. With the first few batches of MP5s had some issues because it's a new gun they never made before. Generally speaking, though, what seems to happen with PTR is they make the gun for a little bit and they kind of figure it out.
Well, and anybody who judges a first iteration judges a gun based on its first iteration whenever there are a series of generations coming after it, you need to judge that firearm on its last generation.
Yeah.
So you look at a SIG 320 that has gone through multiple generations and still has issues. All right, well, that's a shitty gun. But whenever you go, this is garbage, and you go, based on what? Well, it's when it first came out. Am I running that gun? Is that the same gun? No, it's not. Shut up.
Yeah, 3 generations ago it had issues.
Yeah.
But I bought this gun about a year and a half after PTR started making these things. And I've had nothing but success. The welds, like we were talking about, are really clean. We've seen several XP5s. The welds are kind of, they're nasty. I'm not going to be the guy that says welds are a big issue. They're not. They're there to hold metal together. It doesn't matter if they look good or not. But it is kind of interesting when the U.S. company is making better welds than the famous German company. Yeah. The price is a big difference. So these things retail at $17. I bought this at $14 on sale.
Yeah, which $17 is still half the price.
Yeah, $3,400.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I bought this at $14 on sale. The handguards for $50. We don't talk about that. I still cry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I modified I bought 2 handguards.
That's something you save up for while the tax stamp is coming in.
I bought it fast. But you're not wrong. You should do that. But
we don't tell the public that.
Mine was kept at work. Just FYI, because seriously, I ain't fucking with that shit. The handguards I bought 2 of because I know I was going to modify. The first go I got it right.
Yeah.
The first thing to do was the mod 3. As soon as I realized it was perfectly centered, I was like, alright, let's play a lot of attention to the rest of the stuff. And it worked out. We got a nice PLHV2, which, we shoot a still target at 250 yards. I can see it. We're shooting up close. I got enough flood to cover it. This is a modern weapons light. We didn't go retro with any accessories. The handguard, honestly, because of the feel, the wide body with the mod 3 pitched at the angle and the grip, dude, it kind of feels natural.
So you say you didn't go retro, and I want to make a point to that. This is a space age gun.
Back in the day, especially.
Like, this is not a let's say the MP5 was never introduced. Because it's been in service for how long? 40 years? 50 years?
Yeah.
If it was never introduced, and then in SHOT Show 2023, they go, boom, MP5.
If this gun had a last round bolt hold open,
it'd be like
modern as shit.
Yeah, it'd be the tits. Like it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Minus some of the safety's not easy. Cool. A $20 ESK safety from Magpul fixes that.
Yeah.
A lot of the minor ergonomic complaints have been fixed years ago.
Yep.
It's realistic. The only thing that's separating this gun apart from its other competition products is the last round bolt hold open, which is a bigger deal, or it's made to be a bigger deal than it really is.
No, I agree, because here's the thing. Most Ruger 1022s don't have last round hold open.
AKs.
And I grew up on that. AKs don't.
The most popular rifle in the world doesn't. I'm not going to say it's bad to have.
Anything with an open bolt. But I really feel like it's not a detriment to the firearm. To me, the pros outweigh the cons, and there's the one con that we've said with the last round hold open. But really and truly, you throw, so the can you have in jail is an Omega 36M. In K configuration, you're adding, 4.5 inches?
About 4.7, yeah.
To that. And it's 9 ounces.
Full still light.
Yep, it's going to run lights out. It's quiet. especially in 9mm, and you're shooting. If you shot 147 grain subsonics, this thing is borderline, like, it is legit movie quiet.
Yeah.
It is what, like, everything you've seen in the movies, it is doing that. And to me, that says a lot for what you chose.
Look, man, I chose this because this is by far, when I was a kid, arguably the gun that got me into guns.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you know me. I mean, you guys don't. You know me. Guns is my life. It's not just something I do on the side. It is my career. It is my passion. It's the thing I study when I'm not at work. It's the thing I'm studying when we're not doing the YouTube channel. I enjoy it so much out of boredom, because I have too much free time. I decided to start a YouTube channel with one of my best friends. It is a big deal to me. And I have most of that to thank as a young child to the MP5. Legitimately, more than I can attribute, the MP5 has played a major role in me getting into firearms from a very, very, very young age.
No, I agree. Like, for me as well, there's probably 4 firearms throughout my life that I can attribute to me getting into this line of work. The MP5 is one.
Yep.
Honest to God, the Mini 14.
AC556, baby.
Watching the 18. The Beretta 92.
Yep.
That is anywhere from Die Hard to, I mean, you have Mel Gibson shooting that at a helicopter.
Lethal Weapon, man?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the fourth is the true M16. I'm thinking of.
The A1?
Yeah. Like things
Triangle
like watching
handguards,
Full Metal Jacket. And it's.
Stay tuned if you want to see one of those, by the way.
Yes, Tyler has one. It's awesome.
I'm a Milsurf guy.
Those firearms, but the MP5 is one that, like, I think of, oh my goodness. Like, as a kid, just going,
that's so
amazing.
cool.
Yeah.
And it's what happens when you meet your childhood hero, and he's not a fucking asshole.
Yes. It's meeting Superman, and as it turns out,
he's a great guy.
Yeah.
It's everything you thought it was gonna be,
yep,
and more. But you know, and that's the thing. We're gonna have a full range video of this gun.
Yes.
We cannot have an MP5 on the channel and not go shoot it and talk about it.
Yep.
But legitimately, what's cool about this gun, I'm wrapping up the video. What's cool about this gun, I mean, for me, it captivates me. Everything about this gun is my favorite. It's the one 9mm PCC that's not a straight blowback. I hate straight blowback. I think it's a cheating way of making a crappy-ass, cheap PCC where any manufacturer can get their hand in the game. This is a proper way of doing it. Far from that, I mean, even guys like Vince, you don't like PCC.
I don't.
You want to buy one.
I will own an MP5.
It's not just a caliber anymore. It's a gun.
Yes.
When a gun can transcend calibers, and like, I don't really want to own an 9mm PCC, but I really want an MP5.
Most people think of PCCs as these
useless
AR pattern garbage that take Glock mags, and oh my goodness, whenever I think of like,
dude, the aneurysm.
AR, what is it? Like the AR15.com guys, the ARF gun, going to SHOT Show me like, does it take Glock mags? Does it take Glock mags?
Shut up.
Look, my
I hope it doesn't.
Like, you know where
single
Glock
stack or double stack single feed mags are not supposed to be in my PCC.
Do you know where Glock mags belong?
In Glocks.
In Glocks.
Yeah.
For a reason.
This is a gun that, if we're going to describe a subgun, it got it all right.
Yes.
It's a good mag, a non-direct blowback mechanism, full metal construct. Because we've saved so much weight in the bolt and carrier, we can make the full gun out of metal, not plastic, like the Scorpion.
Well,
no, there's no saving that
that's going to jump up and down in your arm. Look, B&Ts are great.
Good. Not an MP5.
No, they're not. And honest to God, like, look, a Scorpion.
Garbage. I'll say it.
Yeah.
I hate the Scorpion. I've owned
It
two.
is, they're not meant, like they are meant to do something that this gun excels at, but poorly. So why wouldn't you just, like, because honestly, you're close to the same price for this.
Yeah, I mean a PTR or like a Century imported MKE, which is an AP1, they're all pretty damn close. I mean, these are supposed to go for 18. Generally speaking, they
15,
truly go for
16.
17. If you pay attention, for 14, 15, sometimes even less. They come out with one series for $12.99.
Which I'm actually looking for that.
Like that, the classic series. There's no reason not to get the MP5.
Yeah. I agree. Even if it's just for nostalgia purposes.
It's a cool gun, and you can shoot it so much.
Yeah.
1,000 rounds of 9mm, less than $350. Have fun at the end of the day.
You guys, basically,
buy an MP5.
yeah, buy an MP5. This video is to show you, like,
You should buy an
you
MP5.
should. It's the best PCC ever.
I'll agree.
And like I feel like Tyler has shown that even like with a little bit of elbow grease, you can customize even a retro mod
Yeah.
to what you want.
You could just add a modern handguard, and
Yeah,
it's as good as any of the
they're
PCC.
out there.
B&T and Knights Armament make them,
Yep.
so like small companies that no one cares about making.
Yeah, I mean, who cares about Knights?
Or you can just do the work yourself, which is what I did because it looks cool and it feels great. Excuse me. Overall, what?
Huh?
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Legitimately though, it's one of those things where it's still a modern gun, and that's crazy because the only two guns that are this old or older that are still modern are the AR and the AK.
Yeah.
This gun caught on the aftermarket just like the AR in the 90s. A lot of the aftermarket stuff. Knights Armament was doing stuff in the 90s.
That's the truth.
But anyway, guys, to wrap up the video, you should buy one of these. There will be video of us shooting them. This is probably my favorite gun, more so than a Beretta. I know. This gun holds a special place in my heart. This is what got me into guns. This is the whole reason this channel exists, as far as me being a part of it.
Tyler and I are horrible at wrapping up videos.
We really are.
I'm
We're
just going to
bad.
say this. Look, I'm not going to beg for your likes and subscribes, but you
It'd be
better
nice.
like and subscribe.
It'd be really nice.
Anyways, tools of Salvo.
Take care, guys.